We started this year off so strong. I read so many amazing books in January and I found a new all-time favorite. Hey everyone, it's Isabella. Welcome back to my channel, or welcome to my channel if you are new. Today we're going to talk about all of the books that I read in the month of January. I read a total of 7 books, which is pretty good for me. I read about 5 a month, so 7 is good. And I read some pretty big books this month. One in particular that happened to be my new favorite. It's gonna shock you guys, like literally, unless you follow me on Instagram. Then I won't shock you because I haven't shut up about it. Make sure you guys stay around for the end of the video because I'm going to be filling out my reading journal with you guys and you're going to be able to see everything that I fill out. So if you're interested in that, make sure you stay till the end. We're going to jump right into this because I'm so excited. Like we're not even going to do a big intro, like straight into it. First book I'm talking about, I originally read on my Kindle, and I am going to talk about my physical books first, but I got this book today in the mail. And I annotated it, I went through, I highlighted, I tabbed, and that is Kulti by Mariana Zapata. So I was tabbing yellow, and then the pink tabs are like major moments or like quotes that just really speak to me, and then I ran out of yellow tabs, so I had to use orange tabs. Yeah, kind of chaotic. I don't know if I'm going to change it because I kind of like the memory of literally running out of yellow tabs. But oh my goodness, when I tell you guys, this book literally blew me away. If you have been here a while, you may know that I'm not a romance reader, and one of my pet peeves is long romance books that are over like 500 pages that are a romance. It's ridiculous to me. That was until I picked up this book. This is 542 pages, and I ate up every single page. This story follows Sal, who is a soccer player, and Kulti, who is a retired professional soccer player, and Kulti gets to come coach Sal's team, and he just so happens to be Sal's like childhood biggest crush. This reminded me a lot of my One Direction days, like when I was obsessed with One Direction, was the way that Sal would talk about Kulti, and I was like, no girl, I get it. I mean, I don't get it because I've never met One Direction like VIP, but I get it. It is of course slow burn. It is Mariana Zapata, and fun fact, slow burn is another thing that I'm like 50-50 with. Like it can go really good but it can go really bad. This book had literally nothing going for it that would be like my thing. I have never read a sports romance before this book. I don't like long books. I don't really read romance. Age gap, there's an age gap in this. I don't like age gap. So there's like literally nothing in this book that I was like, oh yeah, I'm gonna like that. And it was a 5-star read. And it really just opened my eyes a lot. After reading this book, I did go out and purchase from Look Up With Love all of her other books, which are on Kindle Unlimited, the majority of them. I'm going to read there first because her books are expensive. This was like $44, I think. From Look Up With Love it was only like $12, a big W, but her other books, they're very expensive. So I'm going to be reading all of her books on Kindle, kind of figuring out like, you know, obviously if they impact me the way this one did, I'm going to be paying for it and getting a copy because wow, like literally I don't think I have read a book that has impacted me the way this book has in a while. Like it moved me, just like I'm in shock. I was going to do like a full video just ranting about this book because I loved it so much, but I only just got my physical copy of this book in today, and I didn't want to film it if I didn't have my physical copy, and I got it in so I could still do it, but like I'm doing my wrap up so I might as well just talk about it here. But it was that good, I was like, maybe I should just do a whole video on it. And I have posted it multiple times on my Instagram, which says something because I feel like I don't post that much. I'm trying to get better. Anyway, if you're looking for a slow burn romance, I'd highly recommend this. I will say one of the reasons I loved this book as much as I did is the discussions it had on sports and passion. Out of this world. Like it just, I played netball and I also was a dancer, 2 sports that I loved, and just the way sports as a whole was talked about in this book was probably one of my favorite bits. Just saying. We're going to move on from Kulti, otherwise we will literally be here all day, and talk about my next two reads, which were amazing reads as well, and they were on my 2023 book cart, and they're part of a series, so I'm like crushing some goals right now. And that is the first two books in the Harry Potter series. This was such a good experience. Now, rating wise, I did give the first book, which is Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone, 3 stars, and Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets 4 stars. And originally I gave this 4 stars, but then I read this and I was like, no, this is 4 stars, so I lowered this to 3 stars. And the reason I did that is because I just feel like this series is going to get so much better. Like, it's literally going to get so much better. I just know. This is my first time reading the series, by the way, so it feels right to give this one 3 stars because I know that it's only going to get like more wild, and I'm quickly fell in love with these characters. Every time I see like something Harry Potter that's in a store, I'm like, I need that. But I've been pretty good about it, although I did buy a Harry Potter calendar, but it was 50 cents, okay? Anyways, I'm not going to go too in depth about the synopsis of this because, I mean, it's Harry Potter. It's literally just about a wizard going to a wizard school. But these covers, I'm gonna be doing like a prettiest covers I own. No idea when, like I have no idea when I'm doing that, but when I do, these will be in it because they are just probably one of my favorites I own. So pretty, obsessed. Next physical book I picked up is Tinder Translator, an A to Z of Modern Misogyny by Aileen Barrett. I picked this up because I met my boyfriend on a dating app, and during my short time that I was on the dating app, there were a lot of questionable things I saw, and it was really nice to be able to see that I was not the only one that witnessed these things. And I did like tab this as well. It literally just goes through like quotes that men say versus what they actually mean. So for example, we have J is for joking, the quote is chill out, it was just a joke, and then the author goes into verses like what that actually like means if we break down into it. And it was just such like, it was a really enjoyable read. I would highly recommend this to like my feminist girlies, and honestly, no, I recommend this to everyone. Please read this. It was definitely, I think I literally read this in like an hour. I'm pretty sure, like I read it like so quickly, and I never do that, but for some reason non-fiction specifically about misogyny, I eat that up. Now, I didn't rate this because I don't read non-fiction, but like I said, I highly recommend it. It was definitely worth the read. And the last physical book I read before we jump into Kindle books is a reread, and that was Love Her Wild by Atticus. I just was feeling a love poem book, so this is like the perfect one to pick up. There's not much to say about that one. Like, it was a reread, it was good, I needed it. And then I ended up buying Love by Atticus, which is his new release, but I didn't buy that till the end of the month, and I have this weird thing that I can only read 1 poetry book a month. I don't know why, it's just a rule in my brain. So I will be reading Love in February, which is fitting because it's Valentine's Day. Now, this month I actually discovered a new favorite author on Kindle, and his name is Boris Bacic. Don't know if I said that right, I hope so. He writes like horror books, and I read 2 of them this month, and I love his writing. It's very like binge worthy. Like, I literally finished these books in the span of like 3 days, I think, like combined. So they're amazing. The plots are like fairly unique, but they also have very like generic plots at the same time, if that makes sense. Like, he takes like a generic plot with a twist, and they're really good. One of his books I gave 3 stars, the other one I gave 4. I'm going to talk about the 3-star one first, and that's the first book I read by him, and that is They Came from the Mall. This is a book about a group of teenagers, I think they are, and they go into a abandoned mall, and there's a bunch of mannequins in there, and then they start to realize that the mannequins are moving, and maybe some of them are alive. And it goes from there, and it's really good. I didn't find this one scary, which is why I got 3 stars, but it was definitely intriguing, and it kept me going, and it was the first book I read by him, and I wanted to pick up more, so it was obviously a very good book. I would recommend it if you get creeped out by dolls or mannequins. This would be the perfect book for you. It's not really something that freaks me out, but if it does and you want to be scared, pick it up because it was genuinely really good. The writing is really good. He does have a theme in his books of unlikable characters, which usually I hate, but I actually didn't mind it. So, you know, there's that. He definitely doesn't have incredibly lovable characters, that's for sure. The other book I read by him, which I gave 4 stars, was It Lives in the Woods. Now, this is about, again, a group. I think the majority of these, or the majority of his books, are about a group of people, which I love because you get different perspectives. And this one is about a group that go into this wood. It's a woods, forest, whatever you want to call it. And they venture off the path that they're meant to go on. And there is this like monster creature that's lurking in the woods and it's following them basically. And I loved this one. I found it a little bit more creepy and scary than the mannequin one. A complaint I had in They Came from the Mall, which is the mannequin one, was that I felt like in some cases it was a little unrealistic in terms of the characters surviving. I wanted more of the characters to kind of die off, and in It Lives in the Woods they definitely do that. Not spoiling anything, because I don't think all the characters die. I don't honestly really remember, but it was more realistic in the sense that they didn't survive these crazy encounters, which I appreciated and was probably the reason it got 4 stars. Also, I will quickly just let you guys know my current read, which is The Priory of the Orange Tree. I'm pretty far in. Oh gosh, I am 336 pages in and I'm so proud of myself. When I finish this book, I think this is going to be like my best achievement of the year. I bought this the other day and I started it immediately because I know if I let it sit on my shelf I wasn't reading it. So it is really good, by the way. Like, I'm liking it a lot and I was scared. So if you've got this book on your shelf, pick it up because it's honestly worth it, at least from what I've read so far. Okay, now we have gone through all of the books that I read. We're gonna fill out my reading journal and I'm gonna go through like with you guys and fill it all out so that you guys can actually see it. I just thought this would be like a fun little thing to add into my video. So anyway, let's go. Anyway guys, that brings us to the end of this video. Like I said, this was an amazing reading month. I don't think there is any books in this video that I would not recommend. So if you're interested in any of these books, highly recommend picking all of them up. They were amazing, especially Kulti. But anyway, I love you guys. Thank you so much for watching this video. I will see you in my next one. Bye guys.